Thank you very much. Everyone, please welcome and now, know it versus live it. Know it versus live it and now.
Living in Canada, we keep hearing the expression multicultural or cultural diversity, but does anyone really know what culture means or how to deal with cultural differences? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests, allow me to explain these terms. I happen to spend many years studying and teaching international business, and the main focus of the field is to deal with cultural differences in all aspects of business. So what is culture? Loosely defined, culture is a set of beliefs, a set of moral conducts, common practice, what we believe is right and wrong, true to false, by a group of people and usually in a country. And it reflects in all aspects of life. It reflects in our language, it reflects in our protocols, is how we behave. For example, in English we have the word rain, and maybe a couple other words to describe rain. But in a country like Vietnam, there's so many words to describe rains. If you remember the movie Forrest Gump, where he described the rain in Vietnam, it's a multitude of different ways that rain is. And it also reflects, for example, in body language. We said body language is the same, universal. It isn't. Eye contacts. In North America, we believe when you talk to people, look them straight in the eyes. Honest people do that. In many other Asian cultures, Japan, China, if you hold eye contact too long, it just comes across very odd because people don't particularly do that. There are many well-known cases of cultural misunderstanding that have been documented in business work. Now, for example, the symbol of broken glass is here, fragile, which is supposed to be understood by everybody. It happens to put on a bunch of boxes in a port in Africa, where all employees thought there's a broken white glasses, and toss all of these boxes over the port into the sea. It happens. Or, for example, in translation, lost in translation, it happens all the time. Marriott International Airlines, this is about 20 years ago, have this expression running out of ads on radio and TV, fly in leather, because they equip their first class with leather chairs. It's supposed to be beautiful. Translate into Spanish, vuela en cuero, which is actually in some country, it's considered in fly naked. Now, some people may like it, but a lot of customers obviously don't like it. If you look up, there's so many stories like that. So then some people say, well, let's learn about culture. Let's learn about it scientifically. And here's what we have. A gentleman named Hofstadter had access to over 100,000 employees in IBM, I believe, where he actually surveyed these people from over 40 countries, looked at them and say, okay, so let's break it down into 4 dimensions. We have power distance, which is to understand that some culture respect authority, you silence, you quiet, and in some other cultures you believe on the lower end of that, where you are not too worried about power distance. Students, for example, don't have to stand up and straight when a teacher walks into the classroom, so they consider to be on the lower end of power distance. Then we have collectivists and individualists. Again, in North America, consider very individualist, where people have their own opinions and not afraid of just saying it. With some other more Asian or some Latin American country is more collectivist, where families, you get together, the head of the family would be saying, or you're very concerned about what your group of people, your social circles are saying. So that then you have another dimension, which is uncertainty avoidance. Some culture, North America again, are considered to be very low on uncertainty avoidance. People take risks, people go for new stuff. And then others are considered to be high on uncertainty avoidance, which is they don't want new things, they want what has happened, predictable and already know. And then the last one is feminine versus masculine. It has nothing to do with men or women. It's more of some culture in Northern Europe, for example, are considered very feminine, whereas it's sort of less a blurred line between men and women. It just sort of different than other culture was considered more masculine. Now, so armed with this knowledge, I thought I would navigate a cross-cultural marriage with a breeze. Particularly consider my husband also come from this culture. We are aware of this, we know what culture differences are. What's there not to know? And, well, little did I know that know it versus live it is completely different. So when, and it's not the big thing, it's always the little things. So the first time, my parents came here to visit us and actually stayed for a long time, which was right after I had my daughter. And I got my husband to go pick up my parents at the airport because I just had a newborn. And I came back, and I got my parents being quite upset and saying, you know, I can't believe that we were not exactly welcome. And I asked, why? And they said, well, your husband did not even bother to offer taking the bags for us. And I thought that's very uncharacteristic of him. But you know, lack of sleep, raging hormone, I marched down and told him, why are you not taking the bags for my parents? And he said, yes, I did offer. What did they say? Well, they said no. What did you do? Well, I thought they want to protect, you know, valuable items. They don't want me to take it. And I said, oh my God, I know why. You're supposed to insist. They would say no. You insist one more time, they will say no, then you proceed to take the bag. And that's how it works. And then he said, whoa, no. You're suggesting that in the middle of Pearson Airport, full of armed guards, I should proceed to yank a bag out of the hands of some senior citizen that obviously did not look like they related to me. And this makes sense to you. And all right, so maybe it did not. But then it got me to think, you know, no does not mean no in some culture. And it got me to think, maybe we are not that much of different in this sense. It's not so much that we do or do not respect authorities or the power distance. It's just that we interpret it very different. For example, I don't think any culture would say, do not love your children. But how do we go about interpreting that? Is what's the difference? Some would want you to respect their freedom. Some would want to tell them exactly what to do. So what I've learned from all of this is, know it is very different from live it. An important thing is that you always need to know that your way is not the only way.
All right, folks, just